Morning, everyone. It is 9:22, and we are on the wings of the one and only Josh Denhart, the amazing chemistry show about to unfold before your steaming eyes.
Are we baking?
Right.
What's going on?
It looks like we're baking.
What is all this?
Yeah. Well, you know, we're talking about polymers today, about plastics and how they can be used in our life in very regular ways.
All right, what's the definition of a polymer?
Okay, a polymer is, poly means many, like polygon, many sides, or a polytheist would be many gods.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And so this is a poly, many, and then mer is Latin for unit. And so this substance, you can see here.
This is a lot of MERS. Yeah.
Can you see that? That's the actual chemical compound, but it repeats itself over and over to the hundreds of millions in one direction.
Wow.
And so it's just basically a really long chain.
Okay.
Like DNA is a polymer. It's unit in unit.
Strung together.
Strung together.
Got it.
So a polymer, right? So there's some polymers that are naturally occurring.
Okay.
Cotton is a natural polymer. DNA is a natural polymer.
Okay.
However, we have some synthetic polymers, and they do some really super cool stuff. I mean, we are in the age, actually, of polymers.
Right, things are being
created. Show me anywhere that you look and you see plastics, right?
True.
And so this is exactly. So there's all kinds of different formulas that make things the way that they are. But we're going to go super practical today. Now this one right here is called sodium polyacrylate.
Sodium polyacrylate.
Acrylate.
Okay.
Common name, diaper dust.
This is diaper dust? A whole bag of diaper dust?
I get it in 50-pound bags, right? So that's a little bit. Who does that? I mean, really?
You? That's who?
Only a few people I know. Okay.
So I actually brought some newborn baby diapers, and
are they used? No.
They are not.
Oh, okay.
They are not. So we're going to try this out. It's been a long time since I've done this, but I think it should work.
You're going to fillet the baby diaper.
Okay, I want you to look.
Oh, there's a little dust coming out.
Can you see the dust coming out?
So is that the sodium?
That's sodium polyacrylate. And so inside of here is this polymer in very small amounts because it doesn't take very much. Okay. So I brought some of that with me.
Because that is a minute amount of
That is a minute amount.
And that's a small diaper.
That's a newborn.
That's a newborn
diaper, yeah. So here I have my very own tube of diaper dust.
Because who wouldn't?
Right? Isn't that fun? I mean, name it something fun. Okay, so watch this. I put this in here. Very good.
Okay, now about how much is that? That's less than a teaspoon.
You know, I think that's like a 3T, kid.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
This is the, never mind.
All right, now and in case they have to unload here, you're going to
in case they have to unload.
Yeah.
Right. So, but here's what I want to show you.
You're not going to dump all that in there.
Sure, but watch this. I mean, I'm going to add some yellow food coloring here, and some of these people are going to get this joke right now, and some of them are going to get it on the drive into work. Yellow, never mind.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. You got it. You got it. Okay, so watch this. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Just that fast.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
That little bit took all that liquid?
Exactly. So it'll take about 600 times its original volume.
Oh
Notice
my goodness.
that I could have put more in because some of the powder.
There's still powder
There's still
here.
powder.
Can you see that? Wow.
I'm gonna start wearing diapers again. I had no idea.
Yeah, I need to start. We call it depends, right? Matter of fact, I want to. No, I'm not wearing one today.
That just blew us away.
Yeah, feel that.
That's amazing.
Isn't that fun? And so all of a
That
sudden,
is a goop.
So what happened there? It has an amazing absorbing ability.
It's a super absorbent material, 600 times its original volume.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Now here's the funny thing. I mean, it is Labor Day weekend coming up, right? It's Labor Day.
Yeah.
So, and here we are on this Labor Day weekend, and I'm a father of 4. And we call it 4 and final. And I'm telling you, I have labored myself by changing diapers all these years. And we're finally out of it. I mean, there's so many of these little milestones as a parent. Any parent understands this, right? You go, oh my word, our last one can strap themselves into the car seat. What a victory, right? I mean, it's such a big deal when your last kid has their last diaper. You're like, strike up the band. You know what I mean? It's
party
such a
time.
Yeah, party time.
Wow.
But the funny thing is that when you're like, honey, I think she's wet. Well, what you do is you walk up and you kind of go.
You feel.
You feel and you feel this thing like, oh yeah, right? So that's this. Now, you haven't had a chance to feel this.
Oh my gosh. I've always heard
because
about this.
that's what you're feeling then.
That's what you're feeling is that little slush.
I thought it was something else. Okay.
You're thinking it's like
we'll
call it.
So weird.
Because every time anybody checks, number 2, number
yeah. But when they go number 1, then it quickly, now do you see how fast that absorbs? And so it draws moisture away from the baby's buns,
right?
Which makes them feel better. Now, of course, if I continue to add water to that, it's now going to have water on top because it's all locked up. So in other words, a kid can over squirt their diaper, right?
Overfill,
overfill.
So would anything happen to this if you dried it out? Would it go back to its original?
That is a fantastic question. So what would happen if I put this out on the table and left it right here?
Right.
This would evaporate, and then over time, this is a cool one, this actual polymer right here would actually turn into a biodegradable kind of just like fly away. So it's this stuff right here actually has the capacity to change into air. Now there's probably some disagreement about how fast that's going to happen, or somebody's going to email me and say, not true. And so there's a little bit of debate about that. But at the end of the day, this liquid will go away with this, and this will
You know what? I'm taking your word for it. I'm not going to dissect a diaper to find this. I'm taking your word
Let
for
it
it.
hang out for a while.
Yeah,
see
we'll
what
leave that
happens.
Sounds
stinky
good to me.
business to
Okay.
somebody else, right?
Okay, so do you have examples of other?
I do, actually. Now watch this. Here's another use for this, which leads me to the next one.
All right.
So this had a great use in diapers, but all of a sudden, this is a true story, people in Arizona who worked on huge golf courses, very expensive golf courses, and I bet you their water bill was huge, right?
Yes.
Because they had this monsoon season, and then it's arid and dry for the rest of the time, and so they thought, what if we could actually use this as like a chemical reservoir to capture that big, huge rain that happens and then slowly dole it out over time. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, very much
So like a cistern, right? Because in the old days, they'd say, hey, we're going to get a huge rain, dig a hole, capture the water, and then we can grab it. It's kind of like my rain barrels from central Iowa, right? I got rain barrels, I capture rain, and then I reuse it.
Right.
So they thought, what if we could capture rain and then repurpose it when the weather is dry?
When need be, yeah.
So they used this, and it worked not so well.
Oh, no.
Because all of a sudden it expands, and then they had all of this like white, it looked like it snowed all over the greens, and they were like,
Oh, so they spread it on the
they
green.
spread it out, they kind
Okay.
of put it under the ground, and they buried it.
Sure, that was the first thing I thought of. It would be great to do that.
It would be great to do that, but they had to go back to the drawing board. And this is how science works, right? You
Right.
try something, you have an application, and then you're like, wow, the ground actually lifted. Not a positive deal. And so what they came up with was this stuff right here called sodium polyacrylamide. This is sodium polyacrylate. This is sodium polyacrylamide. Very different.
Kind of looks like rice. If
It
you're not
kind of
able
looks
to
like
tell
rice.
at
Let me
home.
put some out in your hand
Yeah,
here, Luke.
yeah, or-
These right
or
here
rock
looks like
salt.
chemical
Or like crystals.
boogers. I'm sorry. My kids think it looks like
chemical
bugs.
burgers.
So, right? A little.
Or kind of like that rock salt. Or
Well, it looks like rock salt, kind
or
of. We'll
sugar
go
that
with
you would
rock
have.
salt instead of.
Pop rocks.
We'll
yeah.
go with that instead of what I suggested.
okay.
Here's the thing: when you put this in,
Or boogers.
it doesn't grow 600 times. It grows about maybe 200, 250, 300 times. I didn't have time because it takes about overnight for these to fill up.
Oh.
But they will become these little gel balls, and they do have a fantastic way of grabbing and then releasing water. These then were a derivative of this.
Kind
and
of slows down that process.
Slows down this process.
Okay.
And watch this. Here's the crazy thing. Have you ever seen those garden spikes?
Yes, exactly.
That's these. And so
All right.
this was the original massive fail. So then they take this stuff and they make little spikes out of it, and then you're on vacation.
You stick them in the ground.
Stick them into your potted plants, and you water them, and they fill up, and then it just slowly is like, I'm on the job, dripping as I go. You know what I mean? And then it kind
So
of
when the soil needs more moisture, it just draws it from there.
it draws it from that.
Wow.
Exactly. And so it's a huge, huge, huge win for science to like adapt that which isn't working toward that.
Were
which
they
is
able to
working.
use these? Let's go back to the golf course. Were they able to use it on the green?
Absolutely. Multi-million-dollar industry to place these things. They even have a special, like, you know, they have special lawnmowers for the greens.
They're
They
the
have a
green mowers.
special thing that drills them. They call it drilling, where they just push them in at
Poke it
certain
in.
distances based on the rainfall that they are
Oh my
hoping
gosh.
to expect.
Wow.
Science is amazing.
It is. I mean, it's a big deal, right? And so this right here saves millions and millions of
What a
gallons of
great
water and
idea.
millions of dollars. Isn't that something?
Beautiful, beautiful. You're not going anywhere.
No, sir.
All right,
No,
we're
you're
gonna learn
staying
some
here.
more applications.
Folks, we're going to pay a couple of bills, and we are going to come back. This is Josh Denhart, the Amazing Chemistry Show. We've only just tapped the surface. We'll be right back.
Coming back for more.
This is CW Iowa Live in West Des Moines.